This next lesson is lesson 93 on rational expressions. And you have had some of this. We have, and now it's just going to become a little bit more, not more difficult, but just a little more added to it. So let me give you an example. Which you've done this before, the x squared minus 25, x squared minus 7x times x squared plus 3x and divided by x squared minus 2x minus 15. Okay, so you've done each of these like individually. This one right here is the difference of two squares, which you have done this before, and the difference of two squares. Here's another example, x squared minus 64. X is a square, that's a difference, and that's a square. And we did these, we factored these like this, x, and then we had a plus and a minus, and whatever the square root of 64, we did 8 and 8. And that was the answer right there. So we're going to do the same thing to this one, which makes it x plus 5 and x minus 5. Okay, then we're going to do the bottom. So you just want to do each one at a time. The numerator, denominator, this one has, you look at it, see how can I factor that out? Well, it has a common factor of x, so let's go ahead and factor that out. You get them in their simplified form. This one has a factor of x, so you go ahead and factor it out. This one down here, your what multiplies to negative 15, and then those same two numbers that add to negative 2, well, that's 5 and 3. And the bigger one needs to be negative because when you add them, you want to get a negative 2. So we have x plus 3 and x minus 5. Okay, now we have them simplified. And what we need to do is cross out numerator, denominator, where we have the same. Well, we have x minus 5, we have x minus 5. We have x plus 3, and x plus 3 here. We have an x here, and we have an x here. So we have eliminated this whole part here, and all we have left is the x plus 5 and x minus 7. And that is the answer. That's as far as you can go. These look a lot worse than they are. They're not that hard. Okay, let me do another one for you. This one, x squared minus 2x over x squared plus 2x minus 8. And then they're going to put a divide in here instead of a multiply. X squared plus 5x over x squared plus 7x plus 12. So when we have fractions and we're dividing, what do? Well, we change it to multiply, and then we invert this. So we put the denominator on top and the numerator on the bottom. We flip them around. And then this stays the same. And then we simplify. The top one has an x that we can factor out. This one multiplies to negative 8 and gives me a positive 2. Well, that has to be 4 and 2. And the negative is The 2 is negative, so we have x plus 4 and x minus 2. They multiply to negative 8 and they add to 2 times, I'm going to do the same thing up here. We're looking for one that multiplies to 12, 2 numbers, and they will add to 7. That is 3 and 4. X plus 3 and x plus 4. And here there's a common x so that we can factor out. Now let's look at it and see what we can do. Well, we have an x plus 4 here on the top and 1 on the bottom. We'll do that here, here. And then we have this x and this x. And then we're left with x plus 3 over x plus 5. And that is the answer right there. Okay, so then they're going to give you a few more of those. And that's basically the entire lesson here. That's the end of problem set 93.